Welcome back again. Just following up on a video that I did a couple of weeks ago, talking about your business ideas and plans and what to do with them. Remember, I discussed before that I have probably 40 plus ideas in my queue in terms of what I'm working on, and it's difficult to work on more than one at a time. And so what I am doing, and I'm suggesting that you do as well, is itemize them in such a way that you have your top priority and second and third and so forth, and down to number 40, whatever you have, and work on that top one. And the idea of working on the top one, or how do you choose that top one, ask yourself essentially, which of these 3 or 4 ideas that you have, if you worked on that one and it worked well, would make the rest of the ideas sort of fall in line or fall into place, would make the rest of them easier. Then that should become your number one idea or number one plan. Now, remember that you have to essentially do something about it sort of daily or every other day. So with me, I take my number one idea and I am looking at it, I'm correcting it, I'm fixing it, I'm updating it probably daily or every other day. Definitely though, on a Sunday when I have more time, just looking at it, being certain that I'm on goal, if you would. They say what's measured gets achieved, and that's truly, I believe that. So you have to have timelines and goalposts for yourself to say, by this date I should have this, or I should be doing this, or how can I get this business to the next level, working on those plans to getting it to the next level. So that's what you have to do with it. So keep yourself on realistic timelines, if you would, to get to the next goalpost. Now, and that's just not my idea. That's what people, the names I mentioned before, the Tony Robbins, the Dan Pena, that's what they do. They have measurable ideas, or measurable timelines, if you would, for their ideas in terms of when to expect to see things change and updated. Now, most of your ideas will require some kind of financing. And if you're married, you have an income that goes to your home. And for the most part, that's fixed for most people. You can't just, an idea may cost you, let's say it's a web-based business. It may cost you $5, $10, $15, $20,000. Now, most of us don't have $20,000 just to pick up and spend on a business. And as you may know, many things that you try may not work the first time or the second time. But the key is that you learn things from the first and second and third time to go on to the next thing that may work, right? But you just can't stop because the first thing didn't work or the second thing didn't work. Some people spend, try thousands of ideas, thousands of methods or ways of doing some stuff before that 1,001st thing worked, and that was success, right? That's what happens with this. So anyway, you need financing for it. What I have learned to do in the last couple of years is my way of sort of saving some money. Now, I have my muse that I'm working on. I get a little money from that. And as I said before, it's allowed me to do things and take vacations and go places, and has nothing to do with my main household income. This is sort of my secondary job, part-time job, if you would, my muse, if you would, that's working on it for me. Now, the muse I'm talking about comes from the book that I read, I told you before, about the 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. He's talking about a muse, and so that was my thing. And so I have something that I'm working on or working with that's giving me some cash. Now, that being said, that money is a little bit different than my main household money. So what I've discussed with my wife, and it took a little discussing, some part of that money that I have or get from that part-time job, if you would. And again, your part-time job may be working at, a Walmart or some other place, a restaurant. You may be a waiter or whatever it is. Whatever you're doing to get extra cash, you do that, and that becomes your part-time money, if you would. Now, what I said before, I then take some of that money and I say, okay, this is what, I'm doing this as my part-time thing. It's not my main household income. Some of this money will now become part of my business plan money, if you would. And this is what I do. So I have this box. It looks crazy. And you can see here it says, oops, can hardly read that. It says open, and it says open 1 November 2020. That's where it's scratched off and so forth. But what I do in this box, you can see there's tape and whatever else all around it. And you can hear I have my cash in there. If I get an extra $20, $40, $80, $100, $200, whatever I have per week or a couple of days, if I get it, I put this for a small little slit right here. It's a one-way box, one-way hole, if you would. Money goes in, nothing comes out until 1 November 2020. Now, 1 November 2020, I'll have something else that I'm working on, right? For the last 6 months or so that I'm developing and working on intensely. And I'm thinking it's going to cost me probably $10,000 to get it rolling. But I'm hoping that this has been probably now, I don't know, maybe 5 months into this box. I'm hoping to have maybe $10,000 in that box when I'm done. Again, I'm not counting the money that's going in there. But when 1 November comes, I'll open the box, I'll see what I have, and then I'll see what I need to add to that to get to the next level. But this way, it's a way of sort of saving money. It's out of mind, out of sight, and you put some money in there, and you store it, you save it, you don't think about it, you place it and forget it, and then come November, you open it, you see what you have in that thing, and then based on your next idea, your next plan that you have to work on, how much money you have to finance that idea or that plan. That's how I've done it the last couple of years, and it's worked, right? I don't have a lot of contention, if you would, or frustration or discussion with my wife about it. She knows, and she is. Sometimes when she has a little extra money, she knows what I'm doing, and so she'll take some money as well, and she'll put it in that little box, and just it's a one-way valve again. It goes in, doesn't get open or come out until November, and then I have funding for my next project. So that's what I do. If you have another way of sort of saving money or seeing your plans come to fruition, let me know. I'd love to share. I'd love to hear it as well. But this is what I do, and it works for me. But I'll take the top idea that I had, my next level, my next idea that I have, and I'll try to get it going. Now, my goal is to have my own thing, if you would, where I'm not there every day per se, but if I could have a situation where I can get my 40 ideas out there, whether it be outsourcing or have people working on projects for me and whatever else, that's what I'd love to. I'd love that, so I can still be on vacation. Is my point, right? Again, for our work week, I talk about a lot. I can still be on vacation, which I love to do. I love to go places and whatever else. Still be on vacation and take a telephone call or an email or whatever it is. If people are working on things that I'm having them work on for me, and hopefully it'll work out. But I hope at some point to get all 40 of my ideas out to market at some point. That would be my number one greatest pleasure, is to see some or most of those ideas out in the market. And yeah, Tim Ferriss, when he talks about this muse and outsourcing your work, that's what he does. That's what he's talking about. He's not talking about being in a building somewhere that restrains you in any way. He's talking about sort of being wherever you are, out in the world, on vacation, living in Argentina for, in his case, for 9 months, while other people are doing stuff, working on his projects, his ideas, his views, and things starts happening. Things will start happening for you and for him, and hopefully for me as well. But that would be my number one thing, just to be in a position to get to a place where I can sit back and I can watch my ideas sort of being worked from different avenues or individuals or business or companies, and allow me to do what I want to do, which is vacation and help people and give back and build communities, and that's what I'm about. Thanks for listening.